extremely important, not controlling. When we think about, extroverted, leaders or people, at the end of the day we realize that they're too aggressive in their demands. They'll say, okay, I want you to get this done. No discussion, no questions asked. This is your task, just get it done. I don't want you to talk, just get it done. And they're too controlling, and sometimes even if you get that task done, they take the credit for it. Why? Because that's how they are. Sometimes some of them are way overconfident to the point that they want to take credit for everything that is done. But they're not necessarily cooperative. If you have a question, if you need help with that task, they don't necessarily dive introverted people enable that creativity. They allow you to cooperate. They allow you to work with them, not for them. And there's a huge difference between the two. So modest leadership is about, again, cooperation, not control. Not that tight grip of everything that you do, whether it's as a son or as a worker. No. They're enable you, they engage you in that work, they engage you in that process, so you have a much more enjoyable process, but at the same time, again, they don't take credit for it. Introvert leaders, again, because of their modesty, they don't like to take that pride, and because of their arrogance, no. To take pride of the entire credit of that process of the event, no, I did this. I organized this event at Hunter College. No, they say, we organized this event. We, the board members, put this project together. So the credit at the end, because of their cooperation, they refer always to the team, not to themselves. And that's a beautiful quality that they have, and that we need to shift the paradigm towards in that. By the way, Abraham Lincoln was actually considered an introvert. And they say that quality of cooperation is what led to much success of his term. That at the end of the day, he was able to cooperate with people that were considered his political rivals. Politicians that always spoke very ill about him, that, made fun of him, but he was able to cooperate with them. But that's modest leadership. The qualities of an introvert at the end of the day, it's okay, let's focus on what's important. Let's not focus on these personal attacks. Let's not focus on, which political party should win as opposed to the other. Let's focus on how we can all win together, as a country together. And he was able to cooperate with people of the opposite aisle, and he was able to succeed that way. Introvert people are able to win people because they involve them, as I said, in that process. Are there any questions on this? Yes? No? Yes, sister, go ahead.
How is that plan to members to cooperate with
Jazakallah khair. Actually, that discussion is supposed to be, inshallah, Shaykh Abdullah Adhani later on. He's supposed to talk about haya in depth and, gender relations and so on. He's supposed to address modest leadership. But inshallah, I can basically highlight it again. When it comes to cooperation between brothers and sisters, I always say this, and then some people get offended, but I apologize in advance for those that might get offended. And some people will consider me, as I say, sometimes backward, or consider me uncivilized, consider me whatever you want to consider me. But I believe a lot of times the cooperation or the collaboration between brothers and sisters, especially within MSA, that cooperation is inappropriate in many cases. Again, don't get me wrong, I encourage healthy cooperation and collaboration between brothers and sisters. And I urge people to work together, especially brothers and sisters. Why? Because again, it reflects Islam, especially to the non-Muslim community on campus. But some people take it overboard. That their cooperation as, we're organizing an event together, but then after an event, guys and girls, let's go and have a dinner together. And they eat together, and they socialize and whatnot. And some MSAs that I have visited, I hope this isn't one of them, or else you're going to kick me out. But regardless, as I said, at the end of the day, some people take it a little bit overboard. that the justified relationship that they have in their workplace as MSA board members, brothers and sisters, that's a justified, healthy working relationship, and that cooperation is healthy and it's needed. But that justified is taken to an unjustified relationship, that it becomes more of a personal, not a professional one, a personal relationship. So we work now on this event together, now we can text each other and go to a movie maybe and hang out and chill, and maybe I can, I was talking to you about this event, but now I can talk to you about some of your family members and where do you live, what are your interests, to that professional, I apologize, you're going to kick me out for sure. So that again, that cooperative relationship, that's professional, and that's acceptable, and that's justified, turns sometimes into an unhealthy, unjustified relationship. And we are to learn the boundaries between the two. I like to, again, to always just timeline, again, as much as possible, whether it's direct cooperation or indirect. Keep in mind three things. Make sure that it's pure, make sure that it's purposeful, and make sure that it's professional. Make sure that it's pure, make sure that it's purposeful, and make sure that it's professional. So as a sister, you're working with brothers, and vice versa, make sure that it's a pure working relationship. That it's not, I'm working with her because I want to get closer to her, I want to find out some other things about her. Your intention is not working about the event. She's telling you this is a flyer that I made. Yeah, she's explaining all of that, but your mind is somewhere else. The color of her hijab, or, you know what I mean? Make sure that it's pure. Number two, make sure that it's purposeful. There's no need, and I say this all the time, honestly, there is no need to talk about, things that are not intended within your own work relationship. But you must make sure that before I approach this sister, I need to understand that the purpose behind me approaching her is very important. If it's a silly purpose, if it's not even needed for me to approach her, like, okay, I want to find out about Salah. What time do you guys pray Fajr Maghrib? Let's assume. Okay, 7 something, okay? And where do you guys pray? In this, which room? MSA room, okay. Again, I don't need to go and ask a sister, what time is Salah? Where's Salah? That's not, again, Salah is important, of course. But I can ask any brother, why should I ask a sister? So I want to make sure before I approach that sister and vice versa, that the purpose behind my cooperation with her is important. That it actually requires to speak to that sister. If there is no need for that sister to be there, for me to approach her, then there's no need to communicate with her to begin with. There's no need. It's not to belittle the sisters. This is not to make fun of them or to degrade them, that they're less valued. Absolutely not. It's not about the value of the sister or not. It's about maintaining a healthy relationship between the two. And the third thing, as I said, was what? What was the third P? Professional. Keep it professional. How much surprised sometimes, even just on Facebook. You sit out in YouTube and you find, like, MSA guys and girls, they're putting these hearts and, shapes and smiley faces and wink and serious? There is absolutely no need for that. Why? Because you're opening doors of immorality. Social media, especially social media, as I said, whether it's direct cooperation, like I'm speaking to a sister directly, or indirectly through the social media. Social media has become, unfortunately, again, a means of immorality for a lot of us, and we are to maintain and control that. So making it professional now, there's no need for wink, and as I said, smiley faces or hearts. There's absolutely no need for that. If I need to speak to a sister, and I've worked soon, again, we just finished working with the center with over 80 staff members that we had, alhamdulillah. And the majority of them, over 60% of the workers were sisters. But the point is, just make sure that that cooperation is done professionally. People that know, and that work there, that at the end of the day, you need to do your best. If you have something to say to a sister, if you have something that you're working with, whether it's under the same committee, department, or somewhere else, send them email. And we make sure that that email is, for the most cases, public. We have these groups, so the youth department has a Google group, the marketing departments, the preteens, the adults, the sisters, whatever, have these groups online, so that again, if Muhammad al-Mahdi wants to send an email to Sister X, or Y, or whatever, let's send it and to that whole group because we're a part of the same department, and everyone can see it. So it's made professional, but it's made public as well. So keeping that in mind, inshallah, I hope, again, Sheikh Abdullah doesn't, again, that's his topic, but since you asked it, I wanted to maybe shed some light on it. Go ahead. Very good. Jazakallah khair. Excellent question. So this is sometimes addressed when it comes to team dynamics and how to deal with what's known in management and how to deal with difficult personalities. So difficult personalities. When you study management, who's majoring in management or has studied management? When you study that, or even sometimes psychology, they address that as well in psychology. You understand is that again, as a manager, as a leader, sometimes you'll have people that are very easygoing, you can work with, and it's extremely easy to work with them. And sometimes you have these so-called difficult personalities. Now, difficult personalities, there are so many different types. You have difficult personalities, those that are aggressive, extremely aggressive. Like you start to talk and they cut you off and they're very loud and they're very rude. You have that's the type of difficult personality. Another difficult personality is people that are extremely introverted, and I said extremely, to the point that your girl was during a meeting and you asked them, let's go around the room, what's your opinion, As soon as you get to those extremely introverted, they don't even want to talk. Their face turns extremely red, they don't want to share their opinions, they don't want to share their views, and whether they're extremely shy. And you're stuck, and you're waiting there, it's like 30 seconds, awkward silence. You don't know what to do. So that's another type of difficult personality. There are other difficult personalities as well, those that are extremely, again, reactionary in terms of their emotions. They might take things personally. You're talking about work, but they take things emotionally and personally, and they start reacting to that. So when you study management, you're able to deal with each one based on their own style. Leadership is not a one-size-fits-all. Leadership has to be tailored and custom-made to your followers, to your team members. So the way you deal with the aggressive is different than the way you deal with extremely introverted it has to be, again, something that caters to your followers. Something that caters to your own people that you're working with. But in general, research that was done in Harvard that highlights, in particular, introverted people. At the end of the day, the best thing for introverted people as leaders is not to work with introverted people, but rather, this is according to Harvard research, it's best for them to work with extroverted, proactive people. Because even extroverts, there are